or love to see them in theirs. These are the creatures that bring us all together.
Reptiles. We're going to be delving into the experiences of reptile lovers from around the block and around the world. This is the Reptile Talk podcast.
Boom! What is going on, everybody? This is Jeremy from Brassman Reptiles.
And I'm Rob, and I'm creeping it real. I'm bringing it around town.
I was going to say, Rob's bringing it around town, man.
What's good, man? How you doing?
Oh, man. I'm doing well, man. Survived the ice Mageddon that we were supposed to get here in North Carolina. No power was lost. No animals frozen. We're good.
Bro, I was stressed. Stressed when we were getting, but also part of me was like, I think that they're overhyping this because, like, I don't know. It seems like in the current attention economy that we are in, a lot of things get overhyped per se to make sure that people are paying attention. Well, at least when it comes to weather. If there's the potential for a snow apocalypse or whatever, it's much more, people are more likely to tune into the Weather Channel than if they're like, oh yeah, there might be an ice storm, so just make sure that you guys are, doing your proper things. That does not sell. And in the current attention economy that we're in, they really need people to dial in and pay attention. So I think that may have played a role in what happened, because we barely got a dusting of snow here, like less than an inch probably. We did get some sleet on top of it, and it did freeze, but not. They were saying it was going to be a historic ice storm that people have never seen before. I don't know.
Yeah, a whole bunch of people were comparing it to the ice storm that happened out here in like 2002, which really was
a week.
Yeah. And I was like, oh man, this is not good if that's what it's gonna be, man. Like, that's not good at all.
Agreed.
I was like talking with Ted, and we're like, do we have enough gas cans for the generators? Like, what are we gonna do, man?
What do we do?
And it's crazy. And I definitely happy that we got out basically unscathed overall. Especially looking at both like Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee. Some of those places got obliterated by freezing rain. Like,
really?
Yeah, like it was really bad. And then our friends in New England that all got like over a foot of snow basically overnight. And you're just like,
I've been keeping updated with some of the people up there, and I'm like, oh, so sad for you. That's why I left.
Exactly. I spoke to my folks a few times. My mom was like, yep, Dad's gonna go out and start shoveling, and
for the third time in the last 12 hours.
Exactly. Yeah, don't miss that whatsoever. I took a shovel the day after and just kind of cleared a path before things got super frozen solid on the sidewalk, and I was like, man, I haven't had to shovel snow in a long time, and I don't like this at all.
I have not touched a shovel since I moved here. It's been great.
Yeah. I was like, oh, the trauma, the trauma of the shovel is, oh god. But one cool thing with having storm fronts come through like that is it is a great time for pairing up snakes as those barometric pressure shifts come through and all those wonderful things. So I paired a whole bunch of animals beforehand. I was not near the snake building, but I do know after pairing snakes before I had left, I had a number of animals that went right to breeding, including some Amazon tree boas. So I was like, yeah.
That's sweet, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was very excited about that.
I paired up 2 pairs. I was like, oh man, I should pair some things. I was like, I don't care. I have been looking at like the stuff that I produced last season. I was like, I really got to sell some stuff. And then I'm looking at pairing new things, and I'm like, do I really need to pair a whole bunch of stuff? Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't need to pair some things. So I did not pair up a whole bunch. I did put a couple things where I'm like, I really want you to breed. You haven't bred for me yet. I really want to see some offspring from you.
Right.
And I did get one lock out of the 2 pairs that I put together. So, and the other ones I did not even check on. So maybe they bred. I don't know.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
I'll take it.
the handful of things I did not pair were like ball pythons. I was like, it's not important. There's only three or four of you that I want to breed this year anyway, so that's fine.
Yep.
I'm not pressed. I'm not pressed by you guys whatsoever.
Damn. Man.
Oh man, but yeah. So again, happy to have survived. Happy to have not lost power. Very, very thankful for that. Yeah, because it could have been so much worse. So very thankful for that. Before we go on and bring on our guest for the evening, got to get some business out of the way. Massive shout out to our show sponsors. Of course, we have Black Box Cages, the one, the only Black Box Cages. Make sure you go check them out, blackboxcages.com. And you can use code Reptile Talk at checkout to save some money on your purchase, because who doesn't want to save money in today's economy? It makes me pay more attention when I can save money. That's for sure. But yes, go check them out, Black Box Cages. That reminds me to run. Oh, the banner is gone. So okay, so StreamYard has made things, changed things, and the usual ticker that I would run on the bottom of the screen is no longer where it should be. So never mind, I won't do that. Moving on. Another shout out to the team over at Raging Rodents here in Liberty, North Carolina. Definitely appreciate them. If you live in the Carolinas or anywhere along the Southeast and you're looking for domestically produced feeders, go check out Raging Rodents Liberty on Facebook. And you can send us an email over at ragingrodentsliberty@gmail.com. I have all that information in the description, not in the comments, in the description. And last but not least, Kingsnake.com. Massive shout out to Kingsnake.com, the resurgence of Kingsnake.com. Go check them out, Kingsnake.com. Obviously, I've said it 3 or 4 times already, but the new mobile friendly beta version has just released for the classifieds of Kingsnake.com.
Cool.
And it's really exciting. It is a new era, the 21st century era for Kingsnake.com. So massive shout out to all 3 of those organizations for sponsoring the podcast. Again, all their links are in the description of this video. And with that out of the way, it is time. The one, the only. We haven't talked to him. He just told us we haven't talked to him on the podcast in 6 years now, which is
ridiculous.
Yeah,
because I've hung out with him a whole bunch.
Right. And there's been so many things. There's not enough time in the podcast to talk about everything that's happened, but there's so many awesome things to discuss. So let's bring him on here. Trace Hardin from Hardin Herpetologica. Bam! What's up?
Yes.
Man?
Yo, how are y'all? Good to see you.
Heck yeah, man.
Dude,
good to see you too, dude.
So good.
Yeah, it's been too long. I guess I see you fairly regularly at shows around here, and then Rob, you've come over to herp around our house a few times.
Yeah.
I think at least half a dozen species of snakes, copperheads and garters, all kinds of fun stuff. So
heck yeah.
But yeah, great to be back.
Absolutely,
dude, I'm
man.
so glad that we got you on. One of the people who I've known in the hobby almost the longest. Yeah, I was thinking back to the arachnoboards days, and I have known you for a really long time. It's wild that we are now living within less than an hour's worth of driving from one another.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's incredible. Like old petbugs.com, like that was early 2000s, like dial up, writing on forums and stuff. Yeah, you were always my buddy way back when. So it's incredible you're so close now. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, since in the last 6 years, so we bought some property out here right next to a river. So we do a lot of herping stuff with friends, and we also do entomology, like biological surveys. We set up like big sheets and shine mercury vapor light bulbs on them a couple times a year to see what kind of cool moths and aquatic insects and stuff are nearby. And then on this property, we built a 900 square foot reptile facility that I'm in right now. So it's a metal building with spray foam insulation, and like if anybody's considering building like a small building for their herps, spray foam insulation is by far like the great stuff foam. They filled the whole building, so it's like a big shell. and it's like the best insulation. Like this winter storm that we had, I was so nervous about losing power and everything like that, but I mean, it still feels like the tropics in here. So
yeah, man.
It's nice to have all the reptiles in their own building. I can come out here and work for the afternoon, and I don't have flies landing in my Coke at night or something like that, so it is, a little bit of separation is nice.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, nothing says real life herper than a fly in your Coca-Cola. That's for sure.
For sure.
Oh man.
And that building is really awesome. Like I've gone over to Trace's and visit and check it out, and there's so much space for all the different things, that all the different species that he's working with there. And then you've also got some stuff set up, like pens set up outside too. And so you basically set that up to be a snake building. Are there any like major modifications that you did to the shed to make it like specified for snakes besides the insulation?
Yeah, the insulation was really important because I wanted, real tight control over temperature and humidity. So then I've got all kinds of humidity and temperature monitoring system hooked up to my phone. I've also installed Mist King mister systems and like all of these habitats behind me. I have 45 of these front open glass terrariums, and then animal plastics, I think 20 animal plastics surrounding the exterior. So Mist King systems, lights, for HVAC system, I went with mini splits. So 2 of those mini splits, and a lot of this stuff I did myself. So this is like the coolest thing is like I learned so much DIY, plumbing PEX and hooking up electricity. I didn't shock myself, so it was just a lot of fun stuff like that. There's some close calls for sure, but all under code, of course, with permits. But so it's been really, really neat. And we'll eventually expand. I mean, this building is actually 17 feet tall. It's the highest I can get legally because I eventually would like to put in a loft and put in a second floor when I expand one day. So the aquariums will be on the bottom and, maybe some hatchling racks or something up top or an office. But, 5-year plan. So.
Heck yeah, man. That's exciting. It's... it's real when the reptile folks are like, we're going to go to the second floor now. This is a 2-story reptile building.
The tour just keeps going up flights of stairs for sure.
Exactly.
So it's a little obsessive. Yeah.
No, that's awesome, man. So what, as far as plumbing goes, because I've been out there, I've only been out to your place once, but I think I remember you had like floor drains and stuff in the building. So what was the thought process behind something like that? Because I think that's something that would get overlooked by a lot of folks.
Yeah, so I had the cement pad poured. That was like one of the most expensive things having installed. But in the center, because I come from a zoo background, I worked at the Omaha Henry Dorley Zoo in their reptile and in their insect department for all of my 20s, so 10 years there. So floor drains, floor drains are so important. I love a wet floor. And concrete, I mean, it sucks so much moisture out of the air. So I spray the floors constantly. I don't mind spilling water on the floor and then, hosing that all into the floor drain. And then my sink and my floor drain all plumb out to a containment unit where water goes in. I treat the water before I dump it. So only water goes out, it's treated, and then any hard matter, shed skins, fecal, stuff like that, they go in a compost bin. And then I do a lot of gardening, a lot of native plants around here, and so they all get all the fertilizer from urates and shed skins and stuff like that. So lots of fruit trees. So
hell yeah.
And then that just all goes fed back to the tortoises. We've got a lot of tortoises here, things like that. So
hell yeah, dude. I love it. You've set up your own ecosystem for the ecosystems. It's perfect.
yeah, for sure. So it's a lot. It's amazing what you can do with 5 years of, being stuck at home, so.
Right.
But
yeah, I honestly, your place is like kind of when I think of like where I want to be going forward. That's exactly it. Like a snake building, like a reptile building, maybe some outdoor pens or enclosures where I can set some stuff out when it's like warm out. And then you've got lots of little trails in the woods behind your house. And there's you set up little areas for wildlife to use. So you've got little places for tin, and we found that like black racers and copperheads and all sorts of cool stuff around the property where you're making it a place, a mecca for local herp life to come and so you can see it and for you to get a bead on your native wildlife, which I think is amazing. I love that.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm working with species from all around the world, but like there's nothing cooler than seeing wild species too, you know. So I really want to encourage those in my area and you know, help the wild species much. I've even like a lot of the logs around here I've even inoculated with mushrooms. So I'll go like mushroom hunting and harvest mushrooms for myself, but also for my tortoises. So yeah, it's like it's a cool little ecosystem we've got going here. But
hell yeah, dude.
I love that. And then has there been anything where you, for the building, anything that you like have run into where you're like, oh man, I would have done this differently as opposed to how it's set up now? Or do you think that things have kind of been, you thought about things ahead of time?
I put a lot of planning in, but like, I mean, not a whole lot, because it kind of went in stages. So I was able to really plan, you know, first we get the building built, get the animals moved in, get water, you know, like, so it's kind of like, step by step. There were some, like, if you could see the window way up there, there's no way I can access that. It's like 12 feet in the air. I don't know what I was thinking. So like things like that, I wish I would have like thought out a little bit better, but you know, that encourages me to build that second floor like I was talking about, so I can actually get to that window there. So no, it's like it's a very like a Lego brick box or whatever you want to say. You know, we've been building as we go, so yeah, we're able to adapt for sure. But
hell yeah, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that the planning element for sure is I think is so key. I think a lot of people like get an idea and they're just like, okay, cool, let's just do it. But taking that time to really make sure you have every element planned out is really key. And the fact that it is one of those things, like as long as you have the right permits, a lot of these buildings now are so easy to access. You know, like you were saying, like the concrete's one of the most expensive things to get that laid out. And then after that, it's like, cool, building, how to insulate. Oh, spray foam. Simple. And you know, like so many things that you can end up doing yourself and really like dialing it in for what you want. Like make it a fun project. And because you're in control, you really do get to take that time and get it the way you need it to be.
And if I can do it, anyone can do it, because I'm not a contractor. I like learned all this stuff on the fly and learned how to like, you know, pull building permits and talk to the city and get an electrician, like do all that stuff. So if I can do it, you know, it's possible. So it's not that hard. But Rod, you mentioned that you'd love to have something like this. Have you seen where like friends live together in like a commune? Like maybe that can be our future. It's just like getting a bunch of us out on this property together, build little tiny houses and have a little city out here. Like that might.
Oh yeah, that's Trace's building over there. Then we got the arachnid building over here. We got the venomous section over here.
Yeah, for sure.
That would be lit.
So, but
hell yeah,
I'd be down.
It is January. I thought maybe we could kind of briefly discuss some of the exciting things that you all have done and that I've done over 2025. I guess like maybe that's a good time of year. Good time to do that.
Yeah, so, I want to talk about some things that you've done. Let's hear. I want to hear a recap of 2025 for you.
Yeah. No, thank you. So yeah, I mean, we produced a lot of cool herps. We produced for the first time albino Darwin carpet pythons. Like those things, bright yellow. Like God, they're just beautiful snakes. And then they hatch like bubblegum pink and orange. So it's just so cool to see them change. We hatch a lot of jungle carpet pythons. We've done that for years. Sumatran short-tail pythons, and then lots of rainbow boas. We primarily work with rainbow boas. So we produced about 100 of those this year, and that's what most of these glass habitats are. So I was kind of spitballing an idea that I wanted to hear your all's thoughts on. Like we all know the common name of rainbow boas, Epicurides centria and Epicurides maurus is the Latin name. The common name is the Brazilian rainbow boa and the Colombian rainbow boa. But like if you look at their distribution, like Colombian rainbow boas range up into Panama and like way further south past Colombia into Venezuela. And then Brazilian rainbow boas also have a huge range, primarily South America. But yeah, Peru, Brazil, of course. And then all the way, even they'll go up into Panama a little bit too. So, I mean, I just don't love common names that stick to like one geographic country when they have a much wider range. Right. So I don't know, I was kind of thinking about changing at least what I call rainbow boas on my website, to be the northern rainbow boa and then the southern rainbow boa. The southern being the Brazilian centria, the tropical, because that's more of the Amazon basin. Like that's the southern portion of the South America, and then the northern, the dry forest, is kind of where the Colombian reside. Do you all think that's a bad idea?
Honestly, I prefer it, but I think that you'd be doing a lot of explaining to people of like, actually, this is why I'm calling them that. But I think that if more people got on board with it, I think that it would be great, because there's not really a whole lot of people who are doing like locale specific rainbow boa stuff.
That's really true. Yeah.
If there were people who are doing like, I'm only doing Peruvian rainbow, like rainbow boas, then okay, cool. But it's Brazilian rainbow boa and Colombian rainbow boa, and that's it.
And that's it. Yeah.
There's no locale data with 99% of the ones that are in the United States. So,
and nothing can come out of Brazil. So how the hell?
Yeah.
How is this?
Wild caught rainbow boa is still in the country. Like that's what blows my mind, is like, where are these wild caught rainbow boas coming in from? And especially with how many captive, born ones there are. But that's another topic altogether. But, but I mean, I know I'm kind of springing this. We didn't talk about this beforehand, but like, and as I'm talking about it, I'm thinking of examples. Like, remember black blood pythons? Like that. I still have Sumatran short-tailed pythons who are like, oh, those black bloods, and it's like, well, quite a few years ago, there was a taxonomic change. They're new species. They're no longer Brongersmai. So I mean, it can be done, and
it can absolutely be done.
Yeah, and
I agree.
World, where my real job is, they change insect names all the time. So like with common, not scientific names, common names too. But so I don't know. I agree. It might be an uphill battle, but I do like attention.
Honestly,
and I like being difficult. So
I think that if you can talk to some of the other people who breed rainbow boas and get them on board, I was thinking like what's his name, Ike Leitner. If you could talk to him, get him on board. I think that even just getting maybe one or two more people to hop on board, I think if you could do that, you could change the whole hobby. I think so.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Interesting.
Oh, you gotta, and between that and then like do one really, really intense live stream on social media and plead the case. So all the people that would be in there jumping on it first, like, okay, now it's this and this. That's right.
Yeah.
Or when people are like, what do you mean? You just go, here's a link. Please watch this video.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I like to do.
But
I agree with it too.
Yeah, we produced lots of northern and southern rainbow boas this year. Also, lots of morphs, lots of we're breeding for bright colors, reds and hypos and oranges and cool patterns, stuff like that. So a lot of these, even color mutations that we've been working on. I have a female that I purchased in 2005 that still gave us offspring last year. So that's a 21-year-old snake, 20-year-old snake.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that incredible? Like, so
that's wild.
it is really neat. Rainbow boas can breed for a long time. But and then otherwise, Rob, I have quite a few tarantulas I'm pairing up, lots of cool spiders and stuff. So green bottle blues, lots of Brachypelma species, and then those Monocentropas balfouri, the Yemen blue tarantulas. So Rob gave me a couple males. I've got a big colony of females. This is the communal tarantula that builds the webs together, and like I've bred them in the past. They hatched the egg sac. It was the craziest thing. The spiderlings would climb on the mother and like eat crickets out of her claricera. Like they're like climbing on her. It was some of the coolest behaviors I've ever seen in captivity. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get some more egg sacs from those. The males are both still alive. They haven't. It hasn't been death by snoo yet. So.
Yes.
Yeah. What a way to go, I guess.
It's the best way to go. If I gotta go, that's how I want to go out.
I hope.
Oh,
but
I wasn't ready.
Exciting for a 20-year-old Futurama reference. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at it at all.
But like, honestly, the most exciting thing that we produced this year, I've been keeping tortoises for over 10 years now. And so this is the first year that we hatched tortoises. very, very excited about this after years of failure. So we produced, look at this little guy. This is Memoria Emmys. This is a little Asian forest or Asian mountain tortoise.
Dude.
Yeah, and like they hatched this just hatched on Christmas Day, like an adorable little guy. And then I don't know if you can see mom was walking around behind me. I just threw some
Trucking
down, but
right.
Yeah, so this time of year is kind of hard on her, but like, yeah, that's the big girl there. So this time of year, she's hanging out inside with us. But like you said, we have a large paddock outside that she can wander around on.
That's so awesome, dude. Big congrats.
Awesome.
That's phenomenal. That is so freaking cool.
And it was so neat observing, captive breeding them and everything. So in 2024, let me go back. I bought these over 10 years ago as like little hatchlings in Daytona Reptile Expo and kept the pairs separate, of course, until 2024. I decided they're big enough. They're the largest species of tortoise in Asia. I mean, they can get 50 to 75 pounds. And this female, like, the older I get, the heavier she gets. My back's getting weaker, so carrying this like 80-pound tortoise in is like getting harder and harder. I was like, man, I should have gone with Russian tortoises or something tiny. But they're so smart, and they're big, big, really interesting tortoises. They recognize who feeds them. Like, if my partner comes in here, they watch her everywhere she goes because like they want some lettuce from her.
That's cool.
And so we paired them in 2024. Big girl who I just showed you, and then the male Harvey. Successfully paired. This is the only tortoise species that builds a nest like a crocodile. So she actually mounted up like all of this soil. I was pouring in lawn clippings and she was like pushing it all into this huge mound. And then she was sitting on the mound and they guard it like a crocodile, I think I said. Like, so when I went in there after I knew that she had deposited the eggs, this was 2024 in October. Unfortunately, I had to pull the eggs from the nest because it is incubated through, decomposition of the organic matter. But it gets so cold here in North Carolina that I had to manually pull the eggs. Yeah. And she was not very happy. So I had to my dog went in with me, my little 15-pound Jack Russell. And she was just chasing that dog around, trying to get that dog away from her nest while I was excavating it. She laid 56 eggs. The record is 51 eggs. She laid 56 ping pong ball size eggs.
Holy crap, dude.
Yeah, isn't that incredible? And that Honolulu Zoo, I think, has the record of a female that produced 51. So it's crazy she broke that record. I set them up in an incubator, I set them up like you would incubate pythons on perlite, individually, side by side, and then put a little bit of wet sphagnum moss on that. 0% success rate. They had gone full term, and a lot of them had died along the way in the egg full term because some were more developed than others. So, it's the first year. It's all right, we got to learn from these mistakes. Started talking to a lot of tortoise breeders, and people recommend using the nesting material in the incubator, which made no sense to me because it's is there a pheromone or a chemical? And then why would the nesting material be better than sterile perlite, Right. So I changed it all. I changed it all up and kept meticulous notes. Important for any herpetoculturist to always take notes and set it up differently. And then So then that was 2024. All the eggs, none of them hatched. 2025, I never paired her last year, so she was never with Harvey. And then of October of 2025, just a few months ago, she dug another nest, built another giant nest. And I excavated it again. 51 eggs this time, so the same as the record from Honolulu Zoo. That's incredible. I didn't want her to breed. I didn't want her to lay a second clutch. So I was going to give her the year off, just let her get full lettuce again. But they have a mind their own. So, and I thought because I didn't pair her, they were probably infertile. But as you saw, we hatched about 10%. We had a 10% success rate. So 5 out of 50 hatched. So I mean, not great, but
that's still
paired.
Yeah.
So
I don't see people breeding those super often either. So I was
gonna say, that's definitely an uncommon tortoise species for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, they're endangered in the wild, so it's really neat to be able to produce something in captivity that's not going to be around forever in the wild potentially. So, but despite not pairing her, she either had retained sperm from 2024. Or these hatched on Christmas Day, as I mentioned, it could have been Immaculate Conception, and these are little Jesus Christ, little Jesus Christ turtles. That's what I'd like to think. But pretty.
It does
exciting.
Feel like the end of the world, so maybe that is
maybe
second coming as a tortoise. Yeah. Well, won't
Guaranteed
die
to
for
live a
the
lot
sins.
longer.
Oh man,
So,
that's
but
super
yeah,
exciting, man. So what do you think actually pairing her moving forward, you'll end up having that higher and then a higher success rate on the
I
next
think
clutch?
so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, she's still young. This is only, this was her second clutch.
Right.
And she's, I think, 15 years old now. So I've got, probably another 70 years to figure it out. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think the incubation changes and then keeping note of how I set up, the incubation. I set up the eggs all differently in different incubators even. So the ones that hatch all hatched in the same nest box. So it's like, okay, that's how I'll do all of them next year. So
Next year, yeah.
Right.
We'll see. Yeah, there's always next year. So, and I'll
Mm-hmm.
probably have these little ones until then anyway. So it's fine. No rush. But
That's so
Dude,
cool, man.
That's freaking epic, man.
I think that one of the things that a lot of people in the reptile hobby don't talk about is that process of learning from, ways that things didn't go as planned. It took me 3 years of trying to breed scrubs before I actually got eggs on the ground. And, all this like females building follicles, looking like they're going past the point of where they should have ovulated and doing all this stuff and then no eggs. And, my first clutch,
so frustrating.
not having a bunch of them take food for the first time. And it's like, or like not even getting onto food. A lot of people are just like, oh yeah, I paired stuff up and I got babies and everything's cool. And it's not as many people are willing to, or just do talk about the process of getting to the point where you're actually successful. I remember listening to one of the old podcasts and they were talking about, I think the first time, I want to say it was Bob Clark bred the albino Burmese pythons. And it took them like 3 years or something where they like bred them and killed all the eggs for 2 years. And then they're finally able to get it on the third year of like incubating them right and getting the babies to hatch out and then working with the babies from there. But it took them 2 full cycles of just not getting the eggs to work. And that is, especially with some of this less common stuff or stuff that people are not doing regularly, that sort of stuff happens. It just is
Absolutely.
part of how keeping and breeding goes.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing, and I know I mentioned it, but like taking notes and communicating your failures. Like, don't be embarrassed that your eggs didn't hatch. There's no shame in that. Like, let's learn from it. And so going down to the Daytona Reptile Expo in 2025 and talking to all these tortoise breeders down there, like, I got 56 eggs. Like, what happened? And numerous people said the same thing. Use the nesting material, which, like, well, that doesn't make any sense. But if everyone's doing it, I might as well, and sure enough.
Yeah.
So
that's the bin that hatched out was the nesting material one.
I think, yeah. That was the nesting material one. Yeah.
That's
wild, man.
Sorry, I had to put that heavy tortoise back. She's walked back to her pen and was just standing there because there's more lettuce. There's more romaine lettuce in the tortoise. So. Like, I'm done. I'm done.
Feed me your hearts.
Yeah. So I should go right for it.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, using the nesting material thing, that is definitely different. I don't think of any other species really that I've ever heard where anybody said, well, whatever they've buried it in, just use that. Like,
lawn clippings. Use lawn clippings.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. These tortoises were hatched in pure Kentucky bluegrass.
Organic.
Right.
But I mean, I've told you all before that I do some unorthodox approaches sometimes for hatching eggs. And even with like my Sumatran short-tailed pythons, I do more maternal incubation with blood pythons and Sumatran short-tailed pythons than I do artificial incubation. I've had better success letting them incubate their eggs themselves. And I'm sure all your listeners know that the pythons will coil around and keep the eggs up off the cage floor or the habitat's floor and shiver to contain heat. And I've actually had like over 100% success rate because I had twins hatch. Whereas when I normally pull them and put the pythons in an incubator box and then with Paralite, I raise them up on the egg crating and all that stuff, I have pretty good success, but there's always a few that just like almost go to the end and then die for whatever reason the eggs do. And so it's just incredible that they'll hatch, all of them will hatch, with mom. And I think that's more enriching to the animal too, for them to actually see the fruits of their labor and see those babies in there, it's like, it's pretty cool. It's a mess. I mean, it stinks and there's egg everywhere.
Yes.
And it's really gross, but it's very enriching, and I have really good success with it. Not all species, I've learned the hard way, like your Morelia, your carpet pythons, they just, however I am keeping them, it's not conducive to allowing them to maternally incubate. They must need like really hot basking spots, but they would drop their eggs and roll their eggs and stuff like that. So that's still artificial, and it's fine. I have great success with that, so can't complain.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried it with your scrubs, Rob, or?
I did it once with one of my female scrubs, and I let her go for 3 weeks, almost a month. But then at a month, she started leaving the eggs and like going to the basking spot a lot, like way more than I was comfortable with. And it looked like the eggs were starting to roll a little bit. And so at that point, I pulled them and didn't. I did the rest through artificial incubation. I wanted to do maternal, but it was just not worth risking the potential of baby scrub pythons. And I was like, I would like to do it. I think that I need a stronger heat panel, or like maybe a second heat panel in the enclosure to keep the overall temperature good. I think that the temperature that I keep them at currently works for maintaining them and having them be healthy and eat and all that stuff. But I think that the overall temperature of the enclosure needs to be a little bit warmer if she's going to be on the eggs and do the maternal incubation. So that's on the goal list, but it's not something that I've fully committed to yet.
Yeah, it seems like a big fat snake that sits under the substrate all day, in the wild.
Just doesn't move.
Like just happy to hold on to eggs. I don't know if it'd be. I mean, and I don't have to worry about it with boas. I know with your tree boas, you don't have to worry about it. It's much easier for us for a lot of those. So they do maternally incubate. Yeah, for sure.
They do.
So.
Yeah.
It's like we do artificial here. We just slice them up and pull out the embryos. And
oh God, no.
No, but I mean, it is like one of the coolest things about every year, because we produce so many rainbow boa babies. It is so neat to like see the female giving birth, because they do come out and like basically an eggless or a shellless egg, and so like be able to scoop that up and it hatch. I've got tons of videos and pictures of them, taking that first breath. I've even documented twins. I found 2 albino northern rainbow boas in the same amniotic sac, and they had a umbilicus connected to each other. So their umbilical was connected to the yolk and each other. Isn't that crazy?
That's cool.
They were both great specimens, great eaters, grew up just like everyone else. They were smaller, but they grew quickly. So, but yeah, it's
cool.
It's incredible the observations you see in captivity sometimes, for sure.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, there definitely is something extra special watching boas give live birth. Compared to hatching. I think hatching out of an egg is cool, but to be like, bam, like you're right in it. Like, okay, it's now, it's happening now.
Yeah.
It's really, really epic.
Yeah, it's always a big gooey mess, but it's very exciting. So you gotta rinse the babies and give them a little bath first.
Yes.
But I love it. I love it for sure.
Man,
So,
I will
there's
never
nothing
forget
like the smell of boa goo.
Oh man, I will never forget the first time I bred BCI. And you're like, okay, the waxy poo, you go through all the steps, right?
Yeah.
And I will never forget coming home and walking into my reptile room and be like, I don't recognize this smell. This is a different smell. And you're like, that's cool. How the hell am I cleaning that up? That's disgusting.
Do I get a shovel? A dustpan? What is going?
Yep. Don't know. Don't ever want to BCI where it was just a big gooey mess. I mean, I felt similarly when we had anacondas born at Nerd. It's just like this is so cool, but also God,
those come out so big. That's awesome. That's so neat.
Yeah, it was epic for sure, but so gross. So gross.
Especially trying to get all the babies out and they're all biting and flipping out and
and
biting each other.
slippery as hell. Like,
and they're
you
so
can't-
slippery.
You can't hold
Yeah.
that. It's losing its mind and slipping everywhere. It's terrible.
Yeah, even the little rainbow boas are always very nippy. It's just like little mouse traps, as you're washing them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, I'm overjoyed. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So
Dude, that's so
yeah,
cool.
we observed a lot of really neat behaviors in captivity, but we also saw a lot of really cool stuff out in the wild too. We went on a couple of cool herping adventures.
Hell
So
yeah, man.
in 2025, we had friends in Sweden, so we went and celebrated Midsummer up in Sweden with them.
Oh, cool.
If you've seen that horror movie, that's basically that is what it's like. Up in just south of the Northern Circle, up in Sweden. It was really neat. In Midsummer, in July, in that part of the world, it is basically never dark. Like in the winter, it's dark all the time, but it's always light. So I mean, the sun just barely dips below the horizon at like 4 a.m. So it's like great for a herper or someone that loves that sun. And we stayed in a cabin way up north, so we were out in the wilderness. There's only 6 species of herps in Sweden. I was determined to find all 6 of reptiles, I should say. There's more amphibians, but I found 4 of those 6, which was pretty cool. Natrix, so nice. They named them twice. The European grass snakes. And what was really neat, which was a really neat observation, is like I would get up every morning at 8-ish or so. It was always sunlight, and I immediately walked to the lake. And around the lake edge, basically, these European grass snakes would come up and like bask right on the edge of the lake. And there were hundreds. I mean, like you would just walk along the lake and they would just jump into the water. I mean, like bullfrogs or like red ear sliders. It was so crazy. If you just stood there long enough, they'd turn around and come right back up. But after a few hours, they would disappear. They would just go hunting or whatever. So it's just so incredible that like in this environment where there is no real circadian rhythm because it's always daylight, they still were waking up, and they were out where you would expect them to be basking at the same time you would expect them to be basking, in the morning normally, even though there wasn't really, it was just so weird. I kind of expected to see them all the time, but it was only a short amount of time, first thing in the morning, and then they would disperse. We saw a lot of those European grass snakes, saw the only venomous snake in Sweden, the Vipera berus, the little adder, slow worm, their legless lizard there, which was really cool, anguina, and then one little live-bearing, the desert lizard, Zotoxa, I think is the genus. Zotaka is the genus on that. So that was really cool. I mean, it was incredible to be up that far north. And of course, whenever we travel, we love going to zoos and museums. So we did all the fun zoos and stuff too. And then right before the wet season, we were able to go to Australia for 16 days. Yeah. So, and that's like a herper's mecca. Like that was so awesome. So that's really why I wanted to chat with you all today, was to tell you the good news about the tortoises and then chat briefly about herping Australia, which was, I feel like a lot of people do it and it's so worth it. The 17-hour direct flight, like from Dallas. God. But it was so worth it. It was incredible. So,
man, I definitely, it's an interesting swap, right, between a place where you have 6 native herps to where you're basically in reptile mecca. And it's like I said to you before we started, like you definitely don't hear too many people who have herped Sweden of all places. So that's cool that you're even able to do it. Like you sure, like missing it by 2 for the total number of herps is a bummer, but you're one of probably a handful of American herpetoculturists that have even herped that country.
And that's like what, 80% of the herps there. So like
you're crushing
statistically.
So to go from there to Australia is really cool. I'm envious. Honestly, I'm envious of both, because it would be cool to go find something where you're actually like, I have a chance to see every herp possible right now. Like that's actually really cool. Australia, I feel like you could go 20 times and never find everything.
No.
Oh man, it was incredible. And it was like so interesting because as much herp diversity as there is in Australia, and I'm not complaining, but we saw the same species, the coolest species, but we saw them over and over and over. And it's like, I've seen this kind of, I've experienced this before, like in Costa Rica, we were like super excited to see the Ufega, the little strawberry poison
Oh,
dart
yeah.
frog.
Frog.
And we went way out of our way to see these things, and went to this park where we thought they were, and we hiked for miles, and we finally saw one. It was the greatest experience. We took tons of pictures. It was so awesome. And then we're like, all right, we can keep walking. And then took 3 steps, and then there's another one, and then another one, and then by the end we had something like 60 of them. We're like, I don't even care anymore. I'm over. So it's I don't want to say that Australia was like that, but it's for as many herp species as there are, we saw a lot of the same one over and over. But I'm not complaining. It was still amazing. So, so yeah, we flew into Sydney. So my friends and I, we've talked about herping Australia for years, and this year we decided to go ahead and do it. And so we booked a flight right at the start of the wet season because they're in the southern hemisphere. So their spring is our fall. So we flew in early November, basically. And from Sydney, flew up to Cairns, which is kind of like the Great Barrier Reef launching point. So it's on the east coast of Australia, halfway or north of us, higher than Sydney. So it's tropical. And then in Cairns, there's the Daintree rainforest, which is the oldest tropical forest in the world. It's 8 million years old. So that's why you have so many incredible species like the cassowary bird and all these crazy herps that are only found there. So in Daintree, we went to Mossman Gorge, which is a big park there, and herped all around that. Saw Boyd's forest dragons, those Hispaloras, those really cool, bearded dragon looking creatures. And it's just so interesting coming from North America and South America, where everything's iguanids, and then going to Australia and the old world, or Africa and Europe and stuff, where everything's agamids, but they're so similar, but they evolve so differently, convergent evolution. So it's just it's really neat to see those critters over there. Lace monitor, a gigantic lace monitor there in Daintree. So we were able to follow that big lizard around, and he was smart too. You could tell he was all right, you're not going to mess with me, because we want to be very respectful of all the animals and wildlife in Australia. So we give, proper distance, we photograph, and, lots of binocular watching and stuff. But if you kind of leave them alone and you don't want to go grab them and tail them and stuff, they'll let you just hang out and watch them.
Hang out.
It's foreign to a lot of herpers. It's if you treat them like birders treat birds and just watch them, they certainly don't mind, which is the perfect place to do it in Australia. So, watching that lace monitor wander around was really cool. Let's see. So then from Cairns, we spent quite a few days there, stayed in Airbnb, which was excellent. Lots of fruit bats. Fruit bats are just everywhere there. And then from Cairns, we flew further north. So we got in a propeller plane. This is the first time I've flown in a prop plane. And it was tiny, very hot. And we flew over the rainforest for I think 2 hours. And it was just a sea of green below us, and landed in Lockhart River, which is an Aboriginal community up in the Cape York Peninsula. So it's almost at the tippy top of Australia, as close as you get to Papua New Guinea, basically. So you get a lot of that bleed from fauna from Papua New Guinea down into Australia there. So that's where you get those green tree pythons. And so, that first day we landed in Lockhart River, the Iron Range, rented a car, and we stayed in a really cool accommodations. It was very isolated. I mean, there's not really cities out there. It's it's towns, which blows my mind. Australia doesn't have a robust railroad system like the United States does. So they have road trains and semi trucks that have 3 or 4 trailers behind them, basically. And so that's how they bring food to all these areas way out in the bush. And so it's just such a different experience. It's not like you just go to the grocery store like Walmart or something you can here. It's very isolated. It felt like just a whole nother world being that far away from away from big cities, I should say. So we stayed in an eco lodge called Greenhouse. Spelled greenhouse, but without the U and extra O. But it was really cool. They use shipping containers as all of their little lodges. So it's
that's cool.
That's cool.
I need some shipping containers now. Yeah. So each room was a shipping container. I was like, man, that is just so cool. And it was out in the rainforest. So we were able to road cruise at night And then the first night we saw green tree pythons. So it's just so amazing to see that variant of, I don't know if we call this Morelia viridis now, or Chondropython viridis, or what the taxonomy is, or if this is even the same species as the green tree pythons that we have coming into the United States from Papua New Guinea and those surrounding islands. So yeah, it looks the same. It's a bright green snake. And when you're driving on the road, like, it was so cool, like, because this eco lodge was full of other herpers and birders. Like, those are the only people that come out this far out into the outback is other animal nerds.
One of us.
As soon as they got there, they're like, "What are you here looking for?" And so, I'd like to see green tree pythons. Are like, "What you got to do during the day? They're in the canopy, but at night they come down and sit at the base of trees, and they'll like do that stereotypical, where they have their head down, right at your knee level and like shin." And we saw 6 of them, and like we saw a couple every night. We ended up seeing, I think, 6 or 7 total. But you just drive and like the forced edge basically, and they glow bright green. I mean, they're green, but like seeing them in the wild, like, it's just, when your headlight hits that, it is just pops like fluorescent green. And so it was just incredible to see those, waiting to zap up little marsupials or frogs. So so it was just so cool to like lay on your belly and just look at this green tree python, which turned out to not be great, because I guess if you go to Australia, if you lay in the grass for too long, you can get eaten alive by their species of chigger, which is like a type of harvester mite, which we have similar species here in the United States. Oof. And one of our partners, her blood one of the people that went with us, her blood must taste delicious, because I felt so bad. She had hundreds of chigger bites, like all over her. Oh God, it was horrific. She actually contracted scrub typhus, which is a form of rickettsial bacteria disease similar to Lyme's disease that we have here in the United States. So she had to go to ER like halfway through our trip because she was getting sick with sugar bites. So it's like, maybe we should have been laying on the ground.
Maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, but just a simple doxycycline, antibiotic, like treated it, cured it right up. But it was, even the ER, we were like, what were you doing to get like, you're a weird reptile person. So so Lockhart River, we saw brown tree snake, which was really cool. We saw a few of those. Cool. Waiga, those are the ones that are invasive in Guam, so seeing them in their native habitat is really cool. Green tree frogs, like, those things are just, or I guess white tree frogs, green tree frogs, all of those species, those were incredible. So
that is so cool.
It was very, very cool.
Being out in the remote areas like that is not the place where you want to get bit up by a bunch of parasitic critters.
So like, luckily we were good enough to be able to get to a hospital. Like, we flew to another place later and we were able to get to a hospital there. I don't know if we would have been able to go to a hospital there in Lockhart River. Like, we knew where they were just in case, always being prepared. But it was it was still a little bit scary there. Frilled Dragon, we road cruised a Frilled Dragon. Like,
that's cool.
And like, we saw him at the same time he saw us, and he propped up on his little back legs and went running, like, how incredible. So we were able, like, they do that little squirreling behavior where they'll run up a tree and just hang on the side of the tree and then kind of scoot around when they're nervous. So we were able to sit there and observe him, and he came down and stuff. So that was cool. And then, of course, like, it's not a herp, but we did see dingo puppies while road cruising, which was pretty cool.
What?
Like,
that's cool.
Puppies. I know. Like, I was like, that's pretty incredible. Like, these 2 little puppies were playing in the street, like, as we were out in the bush, and they saw us and they ran into the woods, because it's just tropical rainforest on either side of the road. And so we jumped out to see if we could photograph them, and you could hear the mom or another member of the pack like howling and stuff on the other side, like trying to call puppies back. And the puppies were like sticking their heads out of the bush, like looking at us, like they're just like dogs. I mean, they are dogs, but they've been there for wild for 60,000 years or whatever. But they were like kind of looking at us. They were a little nervous, but if I had some treats, it would have been a different story. I wouldn't feed the wildlife, but it was just like, how cool.
He had a baby. He was just luring them out. He's like
over here with a box of milk bones out in the bush, just like, come on, buddy.
Bring a little dingo home. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, that was Lockhart River. We spent 4 days there. And then I forgot to mention we went on a croc tour down in Daintree. So we took the boat out and saw quite a few big giant saltwater crocodiles and scrub python. Saw your scrub python it was like picturesque, man. It was like a giant tree hanging over the river and the scrub python was coiled up on top. It was like so rad. But it was a good reminder that like the water is shallow, it is dark, but like there are big crocodiles that can hide at almost nothing. And like we did talk to a few locals that were in the herp, and they're like, just be aware, there's monsters that live in mud puddles. Like they will get you. And like, yeah, they're dangerous. They're dangerous creatures. Yeah. So we were always looking in the water everywhere we went, like, because if we were looking at binoculars too long, we didn't want a croc to sneak up on us.
Right.
Yeah. And then we finished the trip. We flew from Lockhart, so that Cape York Peninsula. We flew all the way to the center of Australia, which was like another 4.5 hours with some connection flights or whatever, to Alice Springs. And Alice Springs is like the gateway to the red center. And so when you think of Australia and you think of the outback and that like orange sand, that red sand, like that's the quintessential like desert, outback. And that's where Uluru, that giant flat rock is. So, we flew out to Alice Springs, rented a car, and then drove all around Yulara, and then which is a little city right outside of Uluru Park, and then road cruise. Luckily, we were, and this is like, I've traveled internationally quite a few times, and I always would recommend if you can meet up with a local or pay for a guide, like, it is so valuable because like I've traveled a lot by myself and I have then traveled to the same countries and paid for guides or knew other herpers that were there that could take me out and stuff. And the same places that I had gone in the past, going with someone that knows what they're doing and seeing is like, it's worth its weight in gold. And it like, it's as long as it's ethical and as long as it's a reputable person that's going to take you out, like there's a lot of tourism springing up for herp tourism. I went to Thailand last year and booked a herp tour to take me out in the city. And we were like seeing vipers, like just right in the city. And like, it's incredible. And that getting back to that community and like showing that a business can be made from just taking herpers out, like it's very valuable. So we were lucky enough to meet up with Dougal and Mariella, brother Nature Oz on Instagram, and a few of their friends. And so the last few days we were able to spend with them in the red center in that desert habitat. And like the species diversity like went off the charts. Like we saw so much more. It was incredible. So like the first day, like we met them at night, we road cruised a bit, saw some cool stuff. The scaly foot, those legless lizards that are more closely related to geckos. They're like lizard eaters. They're so weird, like weird snake lizard things. So we saw a lot of those. And then the next morning, we planned to meet up outside of a grocery store because the grocery store has the lights on at night. The night, those lights attract insects. Those insects the next day attract ants. And then, what comes for ants in Australia are those thorny devils. And so like, we were behind a grocery store, basically like looking in all the bushes and stuff and like looking in the grass, sedges and stuff like that, spinifex. And sure enough, there was a little thorny devil, which is like, so that Moloch horridum, man. It's just like they've got the spines, and they're like very similar to one of my favorite animals, the horny toad that we have here in the United States. And so going back to that iguana agama coevolution, like these things both use their skin to wick moisture out of the air, out of puddles to drink. They're both ant specialists. They're spiny. They don't move a lot. Like it was just a dream come true to see these like spiny little creature, saw some more monitors, Varanus gillini. So some of the little tree monitors. Yeah, very, very exciting for sure. And then like one of my favorites, the Centrillion skink. So road cruising around Uluru, like right when it gets dark, before they close the park, we saw a little blue-tongued skink, the baby Centrillion, Caliqua multifasciata, and like
that's awesome.
Blue-tongued skinks are one of my favorite. Like they're so cool, but like the Centrillion blue tongue skink is almost never available in the trade in the United States. Like I've seen them a few times, but they're so much cuter. It's like taking a blue tongue skink and compressing the cuteness into a tinier package, and it's just like this like cute little blob with a blue tongue. Oh my god! Like road cruising, seeing that was incredible. And then of course the only venomous snake besides the brown tree snake, which is rear fang, we did see Mulga, the Pseudechis australis. I think they also call those the brown
cool.
snakes.
Yeah.
So something that could like ruin the trip, worse than scrub typhus. So we didn't handle it or anything, but like it did pose for us quite a bit. And yeah, so we got some great shots, great pictures of that specimen. It was incredible observing those in the wild. And then bearded dragons, saw bearded dragons in the wild, netted dragons, and like everything there. Like there's just so many herps. Like it was like you couldn't barely hike around too long without seeing something. Skink galore. So many skinks. But
and I heard that bearded dragons only live on tile and paper towel. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. Like on paper towel. It was crazy.
They were literally right behind the grocery store on the paper towel.
on the paper towel that they throw out from the grocery store.
Yeah.
And then they move directly over to tile. They don't touch sand at all. Yeah. Just so everyone knows.
Although we did see them on the road, so I don't think they like sand. I think they like the pavement for sure. So maybe tile is something there. As long as it's like, I think it was 200 degrees. I think it was very, very hot pavement. So,
oof, yeah,
that's wild.
But yeah, I mean, it was such a cool trip. It was such a cool trip. You know, and yeah, I guess if any of the listeners or anything have any questions, they can feel free to like reach out. I'm happy to like share my experiences with captive breeding or with you know, planning a trip to Australia. I don't know if we want to like maybe I could drop some links or something with where we stayed and stuff like that if anybody's ever interested in putting a trip like that together. But
hell yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I've been posting a little bit on my Instagram.
Yeah. I think that, one of the things that I worry about with like I would like to go to Australia. I think that in my mind, a trip to Australia to go herping is $10,000, and so I'm like, I can't drop that kind of money to go look for snakes. That's and then I talked to Keith McPeak went, you know, it's several years ago now, but he was saying that him and his buddies, since they planned it far enough in advance, I think he spent under $2,500 for like a 10-day trip. They roughed it, but $2,500 that's doable. That is doable for, you know, once in a lifetime herping trip. Or, you know, if that's your target, if there's certain species that you really, really want to see there, that's manageable in my mind of like, okay, I could justify dropping this once to go spend 2 weeks out in the outback and go look for death adders or, you know, lace monitors or, you know, certain things. So.
Oh, yeah. And those death adders, we were so nervous about stepping on one of those little landmines because they're just such camouflage little venomous snakes. So we were like so nervous walking around at night. But you're totally right, Rob. I expected it to be, you know, 10,000, and it was expensive, but it was like not even half of that. So, and I went for 16 days. So awesome. Surprisingly, the flight to Sweden, which was way shorter, was $1,400. But the flight to Australia was $1,200. So like $1,200 to fly to Australia is not terrible. It's pretty great.
That's not bad.
Right.
And then luckily we, you know, I went with my best friends and I kind of annoyed the hell out of them, I'm sure, by the end of it, chewing with my mouth open or eating sardines out of tins and stuff like that. But we did share all the expenses because, you know, if you go with friends, you can rent one vehicle and share the expense on that. We all stayed in the same hotel room, the same shipping container, like, so yeah, we were kind of on top of each other. Privacy was not really much of an option, but we don't need it when we're herping.
Exactly.
And then I think I only ate 2 meals like out, like at restaurants. Everything else was tinned, canned beans, you know, ramen noodles. It was roughing it. But you can do it cheap, and that's including like we flew 5 times in the country, rented 3 different vehicles, you know, and so yeah, we packed a lot into those 16 days for sure, and it wasn't as expensive as I was expecting. Now, Shar stayed back to take care of the collection, and she would not have had fun. And
Yes.
like with the scrub typhus. And then also like in the desert, there's a species of fly that doesn't bite. It looks a lot like a house fly, but it's attracted to the moisture on your eyes and on your mouth. And so like every time you step outside, you have 4 flies, like big, black flies. You have tons of them in your eye, tear ducts in your mouth. I'd just be like talking and one would fly down my throat. All the time. It was horrible. So like I had the mosquito net over my head, but you can't see snakes that well with a mosquito net over your head. So I'm like lifting it up to look for snakes, and it was wild. I've never experienced so many flies like on my face. So when I told Charlotte, she was like, "Yeah, I'm glad I stayed home. I was fine here."
Yeah, I would have.
The tortoises.
Yeah,
but yeah, we definitely roughed it, and it was but our bank account showed that we roughed it. We didn't spend that much. It wasn't terrible.
That's awesome.
Maybe we can get a 2026 or 2027 trip together, share some of that expenses. I certainly wouldn't mind staying in a shipping container with you two dudes.
Yeah,
camp together.
It's funny. I was just thinking. I've had a couple of conversations with Mark, my partner, about doing an excursion, a herping trip. He's like, "Well, I'll go, but I'll stay wherever we're staying, and you can go out in the woods."
I was talking to my partner about my Daytona trip, and I was like, you're more than welcome to come if you'd like to come, but just so you know, I am awake at 5 o'clock in the morning and going herping, and then I go to the expo all day, and then I go, hang out at the pool for a couple hours, eat some dinner, and then I go herping again until 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I'll come back, sleep for a couple hours, and then I'm doing that for 5 days straight. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Oh man, we've done Daytona. I think like this is like our 14th year. I think going and vending at Daytona. We love it, but it's exhausting. So I can't like I'm at a level of exhaustion that I rarely reach, and like you must be way past that, Rob. Like I talk to a lot of folks, but like you're herping and stuff too because you've invited me out. And I'm like, dude, no, I'm way too tired.
Dude, literally same. Literally same. I'm like, yeah, I got to go out herping with Rob, man. I know it's gonna be fun, and then I end up staying out way too late, either at the auction or something like that, and then I'm just like, oh, it's already 1 o'clock. Rob's literally like about to wake up in 2 hours and then leave. Like,
dude, this year I went herping in the evening time, and I saw way more stuff than I do in the morning. Like I saw cottonmouths, corn snakes, ringneck snakes, DKs. I saw tons of stuff, but I went out like right at sunset. And so I think that I'm going to focus more on that this upcoming year. The only downside with that is that that's kind of right around when they do the auction. So at least on Saturday night, I won't be going herping. I'll go to the auction instead. But this year, when I went in the evening time, I saw way more stuff. So I think I'm going to do more in the afternoon, 7, 8 o'clock, go herping right around sunset and hit the trails out there, because I saw so much cool stuff. And if I can see more variety, I'm all about that, and not have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I do love herping. We lived in Florida for quite a few years, and so there's nothing better than herping. You never know what you're going to see, like Burmese python, maybe. Who knows? It's always cool going herping in Florida. But
hell yeah, we've been talking about doing a Florida herp trip for a couple of years now. I think 2026 might be the year to make it happen. But fly down to Miami and then make our way back up north and then head back from there. But I think that might need to happen.
Ooh, where are y'all going to be posting that? Will that be on your socials?
Probably.
This is just me and Jeremy hanging out. If you want in on it, we'll let you know.
Okay,
absolutely.
This is just me and Jeremy going.
Hell yeah!
That sounds like a blast. Which Ryan in Florida are you talking about?
Martinez at Zoo Miami.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh man, he's the best. Like I go way back. So I'd love to see him for sure. It's great connecting with him, and Daytona almost every year also. So he's
yeah.
But.
So, dude, if we can get Trace in on this, that would be lit.
I'm down.
Very happy.
I'm so down, man. Absolutely.
Because actually, I've never herped Everglades National Park either.
Oh yeah, it's I got really bad food poisoning herpeting there once. There's nothing worse than
Oh, no.
I call herping the whole time.
No.
It was horrible. I was like, yeah.
So this time, goal
eaten alive by mosquitoes, but yeah. What was the goal?
Gold, no food poisoning this time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I just won't eat. I won't eat all those mangoes and stuff that was like sitting on the ground and stuff.
No.
But yeah, the herps we saw made it worth it. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I think going into the glades, that's the one thing I'll be doing for sure is spraying so much off and wearing as many mosquito/bee suit things as possible, because I've seen a few.
I've seen some
from
videos
folks
that are disturbing.
Yeah, I'm just like, what odd tropical place? That's Florida? What?
Yeah. Oh, it's wild. It's wild. It's like clouds of these mosquitoes at certain times of year. So that's the nice thing about those flies in Australia. At least they weren't biting and sucking my blood. They were just trying to drink my tears and my spit. So like, it's not as bad. Like, but oh man.
Oh, the sad life of the Australian flies. I'm just here for tears and saliva.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, but I guess let's see. I did make some notes here. I talked about my tortoises and changing the name to rainbow boas. I think I touched on it. Is there anything spiny tail? Oh, we saw spiny tail geckos. That was super cool. Nephorus geckos. Those knobtail geckos. Yeah, Strophaurus. Like, and they were so common. They're like just in bushes there.
Really?
Legless lizards. Yeah, they were. It was incredible. It was an incredible experience for sure.
What was your favorite species that you saw there?
It's a toss up, man. Like I like to get tattoos when I go to other countries, when I go herping and stuff, and like get like little bumper stickers for this old beat up car I call my body. And so I got like, the giant salamander tattoo in Japan when I saw the Andrias there, and like I was gonna get a frilled dragon tattoo in Australia. It didn't materialize. I might still get one, but I think a frilled dragon might have been the coolest. I mean, there's just nothing like it. It's such an iconic. Saltwater crocodile, of course, is incredible to see monstrous crocodiles, and then that little the Moloch, the little thorny devil. I mean, that thing, little spiny dude. It's like, I don't know. So I don't know which tattoo should I get, a Moloch or a frilled dragon. You guys,
I think that I've seen less Moloch tattoos, and I think that the frilled dragons are cool, but I think that it's a little bit harder for artists to get frilled dragons right.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. And from what I was looking at of like images of both, I saw a lot of frilled dragon tattoos, but like you said, not very many thorny devil tattoos. So that might be a good idea.
That's one of those if you know, like someone sees that, and if they know about thorny devil, they're like, "Yo, that's freaking cool." Yeah. So. And frilled dragon, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh," but I like frilled dragons; those are cool.
Or you'll get. So is that a bearded dragon that you got on your arm?
Close enough.
Right.
Close enough. Same continent, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh man. I love it, dude. Yeah, definitely jealous of that trip for sure. That's
so cool.
I hope to go back. So you all are of course invited when I do start planning that. Like I'll hit you up. So we'll do a cheat. We'll eat sardines and no hot food for a week or two, but it'll be good. So
I'll do sandwiches. I don't know if I can do sardines, but I can do sandwiches. I'll do some peanut butter.
Okay. Yep. Peanut butter sandwiches for 2 weeks. I can make that work.
I can do that. That and ramen.
It's worth it. It's worth it. I'm telling you.
To see wild scrub pythons in Australia, I'd do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Absolutely.
So,
hell yeah,
that's
dudes.
So cool.
Yeah, I guess like as always, it's always great chatting with you all, and like. Man, dude, I say it all the time, but like we live pretty close, so like if y'all ever want to hang out, hit me up. I'm always down to herp or blacklight or hang out in the facility or whatever. Maybe not now. It's
Hell yeah,
cold and
man.
nasty. I've been hibernating.
Yeah, with the
but,
cold. As soon as it starts to warm up, I start seeing stuff in March. So we'll have to get together for like a herp trip in March, because that's like I've already found my January snakes. I already found a snake for 2026 so far. And then I'm assuming that once this stuff melts, I'll be able to find some more fossorial stuff for February. But March is when I start seeing a huge uptick in stuff being out, and so we'll have to get out there.
Yeah.
I got to take you over to like some spots where I go to in Eno, so you can see some of the queen snakes and the midland water snakes and northern water snakes and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen a few species in Nerodia here on the property, but I've not seen a queen snake. That would be really cool to see a queen snake.
That is like the most common one I see through the winter.
Yeah, I've seen them in Kentucky, but not on this side, I don't think. So
yeah,
very cool, very cool.
We'll get it done. We'll definitely get it done. I'm excited.
Hell yeah, man.
Dude,
I'm all
thank
for
you so much for coming on. I fucking love you.
Yeah.
I was so glad that you were
love
able to make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. Were there any other questions or anything like that?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course. We have our final wrap-up question, our final question, which we might already know the answer to after this conversation, but who knows? That question is, what in the realm of reptiles, be it something in your facility, something you saw while traveling, something online, whatever, what in the realm of reptiles has you excited about reptiles right now?
Ooh, yeah. I did know you were going to ask that question because I re-listened to our episode from 2020. And I remember you asking that exact same. I was like, oh, I gotta get ready. But you know what? I didn't prepare. So I didn't, yeah, I think I'm very excited in the collection. The fact that we produced our first tortoises after years of trying, like that is just awesome. And then like, you know, all those, and I have redfoots and I have other species too that produce eggs that I haven't been able to hatch. So like getting a cool species like Minoria to produce eggs and then successfully incubating them, that's incredible, like a huge accomplishment and for me and Shar. And then as far as things that I'm kind of like interested in keeping in the future, I'm really thinking I'm going to phase out some of my larger species. Like I got rid of my big centralian pythons, Morelia bredlii. I'm kind of phasing out some of my short-tailed pythons because when I do go to Australia or go out of town, it's a bigger ask to have someone take care of a 20-pound snake as opposed to I've been getting into tricolor hognose snakes, which I kept 15 years ago and bred 15 years ago, like back when they were like Strophis and that genus, and I really enjoyed them. And then like so many keepers do, you move and you decided to sell them all, and then you know a couple years later you're like, man, I wish I had those again. So decided to buy a big group of those. So I've got quite a few of those I'm raising up to captive breed. But I really like that genus, Xenodon. And so like that, it's like analogous to Western hognose snakes that we have in North America, but they're from the Southern Hemisphere. But also in that genus are other like really weird species that I've never seen in captivity. Like there's mock vipers called Xenodon werneri. They're like little green hognose snake. They look like a viper. They mimic a viper, a green palm viper, but they're, you know, the same genus as the tricolor hognose snake. So like weird little snakes like that you never see in captivity. I'm not pro keeping wild caught specimens, but like when they're not available, it would be really cool to captive breed them and represent that species in captivity. So I don't know. Have you ever seen any of those weird little hognose snakes like Xenodon? Or is that?
Yes, I have. Well, here's the deal. I keep a close watch on some of the weird stuff like that, and so I have seen some pop up recently, actually, which has been pretty cool. And then like the pseudo Xenodon too, the little, I don't know what they call them, like false cobras or something. Those super cool. But I'm pretty sure that Ashley Dezen had some of the mock vipers and some of the pseudo Xenodon. And then there was one other person, I cannot think of who it is, who had some as well recently. I'll have to do some digging and see if I can find some stuff. But I will let you know if I see it, because I've seen some of the weird stuff like that pop up recently, and I'm like, oh man, those are so cool. And the pseudo Xenodon I became interested in maybe 10 years or so ago, maybe even a little bit longer than that, when I found out about them. Like the pseudo Xenodon, I think it's Macrops, it's like the purple one, I think. And
wow, yeah.
I was curious about them, but nobody brought them in, and for a long time there was not any being brought in anywhere. And then recently I've seen some on import stuff, and so that sort of thing is very, very interesting to me. And so I try and keep a bead on where some of that weird stuff is coming in, if I can, where it's going. But I a lot of people are like, oh, I don't talk about where I'm selling them to, and so unless the person who buys them posts them, it's hard for you to keep track of that sort of stuff. But a lot of those weirder things, I try to keep a little bit of a bead on who's working with them. And who's importing them.
If you do some research, send it my way. I'd be really interested in knowing who's bringing them in or who's producing them. Like I'd be interested in investing in some of those. Like,
hell yeah.
You see some of these weird things like dragon scale snakes and stuff like that. There's like all of a sudden there's a bunch of them, Borneo earless monitors, and then they just kind of disappear and then you don't see them again. So like I would love to start a little captive propagation, collection of those, but. So yeah, let me know. That's super cool. I didn't know if you all. I was kind of shot in the dark to see if you all had seen any or heard of any being around. So very cool. Thanks, Rob.
Yes, I don't. A lot of the more common stuff I don't keep a beat on, because like I had someone recently ask me about prices for certain ball pythons. I'm like, I don't know. They're all $100 right now. I don't know. Like, I really don't know at all what any of that sort of stuff. But when you get into the like weird, obscure, kind of unusual stuff like that, I try to keep an eye out for the people who I would think would have access to those sort of things. And then every now and again you get hit with, okay, cool, they got some. Okay, cool. These ones are getting brought in, or this is around. And so I'm less keyed into the reptile community now than I have been before, but I still see little bits and pieces like the Jeremy, we were talking about the, what is it? Margariatus, the Borneo jewel, those.
Yes. Yeah. Like, what is it? The Royal something?
Yeah, the Royal tree snakes from
Yes.
Borneo, dude.
Yeah.
Those things are so freaking cool. And there's been a handful of them that have come in and showed up in different places recently. And I'm like, oh man, those things are they're expensive. They're so expensive, but they're so cool.
Yeah, no, it's the rare stuff is like so much, like species of rare stuff is so much more interesting to me than, and morphs are cool too. Color mutations are really neat, but like, I think the rare species is where it's at. Like a wild type, beautiful, something like that is really cool. So that gets me excited. So I'll definitely reach out to you, Rob, and see if you can find any for me. Maybe
I'll do
next
some digging.
podcast episode we'll talk about those. So
yeah,
hell yeah! Remember how we talked about these? I've got 700 of them now.
700.
700. I found them all.
Like, actually, they're easier to breed than corn snakes. I was not expecting that.
Holy crap! Could you imagine? Man! But hell yeah, dude! I'm all
Trace,
for it, man.
To wrap things up, want to give you a bit to plug. If people want to follow you on social media or look up where you got things for sale or anything like that, where should they contact you or look you up?
Oh, yeah, thank you. So on Instagram, I've got Hardin Herp is my Instagram handle. I have hardinherp.com, HARDIN. And I'm always trying to update hardinherp.com. I just posted some rainbow boas for sale there, and I've got some Sumatrans and stuff for sale, and trying to update with pictures of my travels and stuff like that on the website. I don't use Facebook, but I think stuff from Instagram crosses over to Facebook. So on Facebook, I've got Hardin Herp and Trace Hardin, and I think that's it. So check out the website though. Email me if you're interested in a little captive born snake. I'll be posting a lot more soon. As soon as this snow thaws out, I'll photograph pictures, and once it's ready to start shipping weather, we like to hang on to our snakes. What we produce in 2025, we won't sell until 2026. We like to try and give them that 6 months of feeding and get them really established. So we'll start once it starts thawing, we'll start shipping stuff. And that's perfect because that's when people get their tax refunds and stuff too. So. Excellent time to sell some snakes. So.
Hell yeah.
The best time to sell snakes.
And it's the best time for me to buy snakes.
Right.
I know, man. It's like that's the most work is like photographing and posting. It's like I'd rather just clean and like play with them. Like I don't want to
exactly. I want somebody else to do the dealing with people.
I was literally just thinking that as I photographed a couple of Borneos today and got gnawed on my wrist while doing so. I was like, man, I don't enjoy this. This is there are more fun things I could be doing right now.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fair. Dude, Trace, thank you so much for coming on. Love you, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
get together.
Great to see you, dudes. Yeah, love you all too. And let's get together sometime soon. And say goodbye to little Jesus Christ turtle there. So. All right, see you, dudes.
See ya.
Bye-bye.